Have live commentary on 5 Live from Ibrox, all the build-up from 7 o'clock. Both sides struggling a bit with domestic form, so are hoping European success can boost their seasons. It's a return to Scotland as well for Big Ange, former Celtic boss, of course, against their big rivals. Let's hear from the managers now. Here's Ange Postecoglou and Philippe Clement.
Yeah, it's a big challenge, but that's what we like. That's what we love. That's what we want here also. We had already in this past year a few really good opponents here in European nights. This club has a big history in that. So for the players, these are very challenging and really nice evenings that they can write history.
When I was up here, particularly in my first year, I mean, they made the Europa League final. So I've got a pretty clear idea of how challenging it is to play them here in front of that crowd and the atmosphere. But at the same time, exciting. You're looking forward to big games, and I'm sure the players are as well.
Let's have a word with Ian Mitchell from the This Is Ibrox podcast, and Chris Cowlin, who's host of the Spurs Chat Pod, both at the match tonight. Ian, Chris, hello.
Hello.
Hello. I wonder whose managers... just talk about the managers. I wonder whose managers under more pressure, Ian.
Yeah, ours certainly is. It's been a bit better of late, to be honest. We have picked up slightly, but you have to think of the calibre of opposition we've had. And this is a massive week in Clement's future. He could become a hero by Sunday night. He could be sacked by Sunday night. So it's very much on a knife edge. Yeah,
and you're having a weird old time of it, really, aren't you? Because struggling a bit domestically, but just so good in Europe at the moment, and actually ahead of Spurs, I think, in the competition.
Yeah, it seems to be what we do, to be honest. Obviously, as you mentioned, domestically, we're third in a two-horse race right now. And then in Europe, we seem to be pretty strong. And again, that's been the case for a number of years now. We've just got a squad that's very much suited to Europe. And it's a strange one. I worried more at the weekend playing Ross County than I do tonight playing Spurs.
Really?
So that says a lot.
When you say more suited, what do you mean? In what particular way?
I think it's more, you think of a Rangers team, especially the teams we play domestically, they're quite stuffy, they try and sit back, whereas we've got a lot of players who aren't so great on the ball in terms of passing and that sort of fluid football. We've got a lot of guys who like tackling, who like winning the ball back, moving it along, and it's just never been a great watch much domestically this year. And then, as I say, in Europe, we're coming up against sides where we go in as not the favourites. I think that just puts us down to the ground.
Interesting place to go, Chris.
Very interesting. It's going to be hostile. Of course, I've gone to two European aways so far this season. One to Ferencváros in Hungary and the other one to Galatasaray. That was hostile, and I'm expecting a very hostile atmosphere again this evening. But as Ange Postecoglou has said many times, no away game is ever easy, especially in Europe. But Spurs have got so many injury problems right now. There is frustration amongst the fans at the moment with the board. Some of them are frustrated with Ange himself. Some are frustrated with the players. Some are arguing amongst themselves. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But we need a win because we've only had one win in 7.
Yeah, get it back on the road, don't you? But I don't. Did you hear Chris Sutton on the Monday Night Club on 5 Live? I was driving and heard Chris and saying, do Spurs fans really know what they want in life? Because, when it was Conte, for example, when it was Mourinho, it wasn't the style of football you wanted. It wasn't the Spurs way, all that kind of stuff. And then you get a guy who's absolutely attacking style of football, and all of a sudden, well, come on, we need the wins. We need the wins. Would you be happier with Ange, even if you're not getting the wins for a bit longer?
Chris, personally, I'm very, very happy with Ange Postecoglou, and I believe that Ange is the right man for Tottenham. The entertaining style that he plays at Spurs, I absolutely love the type of football that he plays. I just feel like he needs the players. Now, I could talk to you for hours about transfer windows. We've gone through so many managers since Pochettino in 2019. 7 different managers, including Postecoglou now, have been in the dugout. We've gone round in circles to an extent, and I just feel like one manager, whether it be Ange or someone, needs to be backed fully and sign world-class players. I'm all one for signing players for the future as well, and so the future of the football club is bright. But you certainly need players for now as well. And with so many injury problems and off-field problems that Ange had last year, I would have felt that the club would have learnt from that, and we would have signed a few more players in the summer transfer window.
Interesting.
You know, we are so thin on the ground with players. We've got one centre back, one recognised centre back going into tonight's game.
It was one of your side was saying that they were disappointed. I can't remember who it was in the week who was saying they were disappointed there weren't more signings. Romero said it in the week, didn't he? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I hope it goes well tonight. Enjoy the game. Thank you both. Ian Mitchell from the This Is Ibrox podcast and Chris Cowlin, who's the host of the Spurs Chat Pod, ahead of that game, which we will bring to you live on 5 Live. Rangers against Tottenham in the Europa League. It's 4:34 and it's time we got the headlines on 5 Live.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.